know that we've been streaming when we talk about Scotty's foot fungus.
Yeah, coincidentally, as you started talking, we're live.
Hey everybody, welcome to Vaccine Crew. We thankfully have the entire team with us now, plus one Bob. We're happy to have you back. We missed you last time.
Thank you for having me back.
So, does anybody want to do a recap, or do you guys want me to go for it?
I mean, I can do it.
Once upon a time.
I was out. I was on an errand.
Yeah, Bob, tell me what you think happened last.
I don't know.
You will not guess. Like, a lot of weird shit happened.
Well,
I don't know. Everything happened last year. That was quite a long time ago.
I thought it sounded like Nigel's voice for a second. I was like, we haven't even. I don't even remember what happened last time in Ruins. A lot of shit went down. Okay, so last time on Vaccine Crew, the Cool Kids Club went on a airplane drive to
Driving my airplane.
Yeah, exactly. To Old Miami. Crypto joined the Knights of the Web. That's what they're called. Yes.
Knights of the Grid.
Grid.
Oh.
Okay. Right.
Close
enough. Knights of the Grid. And Sammi was being really awkward, as usual. We learned that Lyra wrote a book, and everybody bought it immediately. Then we got to Old Miami, and there were huge murals in their airport because Kat really wanted to put those murals in. And then we went to the park cemetery situation, and we saw a family that is camping out, hiding because they didn't want, because their son is corrupted, and Crypto, like the total badass that he is, saved the kid and got really hurt. So we took a rest at their camp, and now we were heading to a mausoleum to see where this magical message for Sammi is taking us.
Yeah. So we left off with Vox had left to go back and talk with Nocturne, the head of security at Henshin Command, to let him know of some of the updates, the fact that you were not expecting putties to be there when you did. And that this thing was sending you to a cemetery, and just with a quick update of what was going on. Unless you have anything that you wanted to tell him other than that specific stuff, any theories or anything that you had, we can just say that you went and talked with him, re-geared up, and then got your own transit to the cemetery, basically, and were waiting to teleport in with the rest of the crew. I think, conveniently enough,
teleporter.
Yeah, conveniently enough, it's a little harder to track them now because I think Bark has kept his stream down this entire time. Which, on one hand, is annoying. On the other hand, that's what you were aiming for, so that's good. So we will say that we pick up in the Seven Hills Cemetery. You guys have just reached the entrance and come to a simple mausoleum bearing the name of bearing the name Tomb of Lost Heroes instead of a family name. Flanking the door are two small garden beds overflowing with like daisies and honeysuckle and giant fluffy peonies. As you guys neared, you were following that sort of like map in the puzzle box that Sammi had been given. And as you approached, the puzzle box started to speak and projected a hologram of a couple of words, reading, "The powers within the Tomb of Lost Heroes can only be opened when the moon enters the sun." And we'll say a couple moments after, or a moment, beat or two after that, is when Voxhart teleports in. And yes, all of you have taken a long rest. I want to say...
Did we?
Yeah, when we stopped at the camp with the family.
I think that was a short rest.
I think we did short, and then y'all got
I hopped
Yeah,
on my.
because Crypto spent a ton of hit dice, and I want to say Sammi spent a first level Cure Wounds spell slot, and Barks used a shitload of heal potions.
All of them.
Yeah.
Oh no. All those heal potions.
I feel like we like used all that, and then we were like, oh, let's just long rest anyway.
It was short rest, I'm pretty sure, but yeah.
Okay. Thank the grid. I love it.
Yeah, so Bob, you sort of come to and realize, oh, okay, yeah, we're standing in a cemetery. Like, you were expecting that, but it's still a little surprising.
Yeah. Why? That is, I think that is the first thing to come out of his mouth is, why?
I don't know why.
I know we were supposed to be here, but...
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I don't know why, but I feel really comfy here.
I bet. I immediately turned my back to Barkley. Just immediately. The moment that I put two and two together, I'm like...
oh, that's where the puzzle cube said to go, and and now we're here, so
How are you doing, Sammi?
doing fine. And Crypto helped a kid. It was really nice.
You hear like a door creaking noise as a skull and a skeleton hand appears on the side of the screen next to Voxhart and whispers, "She just says she's fine. She's not really fine. She's really stressing out." And then,
Oh, I don't need an insight check to know that. My character may also have my same issues of anxiety and depression, so I can totally read that shit.
She's stressing out.
So again, he's going to try and reach up and like pat what's just underneath your shoulder and is like, there. Well, I'll have you know, I'm here on extended service to you now. I'm sorry that I had to get pulled back by Nocturne, but he told me, hey, Kat, do you want to do any lore dump right now about why I was out?
He basically was hearing that you guys were attacked by putties, and specifically putties with the that sort of elongated wolf head, made him aware of. He actually told you a little bit of classified information which you did not know before.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to follow you to try and make my own Spark Notes version of this, but
so like theoretically, you know that there are a such thing as Fallen and Dark Rangers, who are rangers that have basically fallen away from hero work, from being heroes. Not because not all Henshin are allied with Ranger Command. So like Sammi wouldn't be considered a Shadow Ranger or Fallen Ranger. She's just, just regular Henshin.
Yeah.
A Fallen Ranger is a ranger who is fallen away from the order and maybe not yet quite past the point of redemption. A Dark Ranger is one who is beyond redemption. They are just horrible people. The equivalent would be the most famous one that you know of is Zid, the god of dark magic and pain. He was the first Dark Ranger. Alpha Z made him a Henshin and set him out to stamp evil from the world. But Zid enjoyed this bloody business a bit too much and became obsessed with power and causing others pain. And he fell away from Alpha Z and became the first Dark Ranger. Nocturne also told you, he says, there's another group that we've just recently started to learn about called the Shadow Henshin. That's what they're calling themselves.
Yes.
They're another form of Fallen. They say that they were created by Zid, that they're literally on a mission from the Dark God. And they're apparently in the process of attempting to draw in followers. There are a couple of teams that they have under them, but the one that we know the most of right now and is the most problematic are individuals called the Dark Warlords. We have a set of Henshin in Del Diablo, actually, that brought us some of this information. And it seems that one of their elite within these Dark Warlords, individual known as Anubis, seems to be the one that has it out for Miss Sammi Aura. We're not entirely sure why. The Henshin that told us this, you actually know her name, Passion. She is the woman that she had been a member on a relatively famous team in Neo-Ratami, fell in battle and was presumed dead for a couple of years, and then literally like about a week ago revealed herself on Henshin Day on live television that, hey, I'm not dead, and also the anarchists can suck my dick. But she's the one who found this information and let us know. But this fellow Anubis seems to match the description of those putties that you bought. So I'm assuming he's following down and trying to track down Sammi and go after her. I suspect that wherever Sammi is going, he either doesn't want her to get there or he's planning a trap. He's gonna try and find her eventually. So I'm gonna send you back as soon as we can.
So about this riddle thingy in front of us. Any idea what that's about?
And just so I can read that one more time, sorry to be a bother there, Kat.
You're fine.
The riddle.
Oh, the riddle. It was the powers within the Tomb of Lost Heroes can only be opened when the moon enters the sun.
Can I make an intelligence check to see if I can figure out the puzzle?
Sure, go for it.
I might already know, but I want to use a wisdom check just to be nice.
Right? Like, it's not hard.
Oh, no, I know. But we have the benefit of outside knowledge.
Barkley just picks up Sammi and puts her in front of the door.
Can you do that? I feel like she's very petty.
All right, universe. It's a 13 on the die with +4 for my intelligence, and then another 4 if I get proficiency.
Jesse, I don't want to steal your thunder, but can I?
Did you get a nat 20?
Oh, I did.
By all means.
I'm sorry,
By all
my friend.
means. It's all right.
I'm going to confer with. I'm sorry. You're going to have to remind me your character's name again, Jesse, because I'm not looking at the overlay.
Simon Skullgoblin.
Simon, thank you very much, Simon. Yes. So I'm going to pull Simon aside because I see that he's also puzzling. We both have our hands like this on our chins. I lean over and I'm like, "Come on over here." Now, are you seeing what I'm seeing here?
I do believe so.
And then we will both say roughly to that effect that I'll give it to you, Jesse, because I'm sure you already know where I'm going with this.
I do believe perhaps we need to force an occupation of the Holoknight.
That's the one.
See, the thing is, though, I don't know how to do that. She only comes out when I'm really stressed or if I'm beaten up to a pulp.
Well, you look pretty stressed right now, so let me let you in on a few secrets here. You might be one of the most important people in the entire organization, right this moment. Why do you think they sent me to come and keep an eye on you?
Hey, Sammi? You know I love you, hon, but I'm going to have to tell you, I think you left the oven on.
God, no! Don't do it!
It's so much funnier. You lean forward, and the way your camera was, it like red shifted, and your entire face went red. It was like anime stress level. It was great.
Oh God, did I? I was making fun.
if we had to get in there, with that stress level, is it high enough, or do we need to do some like benign ass kicking?
I do know the cat said that I haven't been able to reach her. So Sammi would say that too. It's like, well, ever since we went into the grid, I haven't gotten anything. Like, she hasn't come out, but I did have some weird dreams, and I did dream about an old Winari lady.
Would you have said this while we were going to the plane, just before the break there?
This was.
I think he started talking
I
about
stayed at the
that.
apartment with y'all.
Yeah, no, I think you left before she started telling them about this
Okay,
dream.
sure. Okay.
Because I tried to have you leave early on, so I wasn't having to RP you and remind you of everything.
Yeah. So yeah, I did have a dream about a video of a Winari lady, and she said she missed her, and she called her something. She just stands there like,
Just the wheels turning.
Yeah.
Something with a V. I think. She called her V.
Our friendship,
This
I hope
is
you
like
remember.
very in character. As
Velma?
Aya is, she remembers names very badly.
Velma? Valerie? Victoria?
Oh,
Violet.
Samsonite.
Vanessa.
I was way
Damn
off.
it!
Was she edgy? She might have been Venom.
I don't think she was Venom.
Did she say anything to the effect of a long V-focused soliloquy? Because her name might just be V.
No. I mean, what? I don't.
I kind of hate that my face looks like a Guy Fawkes mask.
Listen, you chill out over there, budget Ben, not Ben Stiller, Affleck, Ben Affleck, the one that I was thinking the last time. I said it then, I'm saying it a month later, it's fine.
Budget Ben Affleck.
Wow.
I'm glad you
Fucking
still
Rex
love it.
Simon.
Like the Kmart of that.
Listen, that's good marketing for you, Jesse. Anyway, sorry. In any case, we have to find a way to get the Lunar Knight to appear before the door in your body.
Okay. She just kind of closes her eyes and raises her hands and is like,
I punch her in the gut.
What did you say?
I punch you in the gut. Do you allow it to happen?
She's got her eyes closed.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't think she's expecting it.
I don't think
It would
she
be the
was.
blinded condition.
Perfect.
Roll
So-
with advantage. Because I think she's still technically wearing her armor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would you be?
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Totally. So
I like forgot that armor is like her magic girl uniform, but yeah.
yeah, isn't that nice? All right, so
It has a
what
skirt. It's lovely.
It's
it
so
has a
nice.
giant bow in the back.
So what you're gonna feel is, if I may, a D6 plus 5 to the
Christ.
stomach.
Okay.
That's a 5, so that's a total of 10 to the stomach.
All right. Ow! What did you do that for?
Well, you said it was either one or the other, and you're not feeling it with one. So if we really want to find out what's happening, Sammi, I apologize. I promise you can get me back later. But for now, goes in for another one.
As he does, Barkley
No.
actually punches him instead in the gut.
Yeah, I will hit it with my gun as a baseball bat.
Wait, are targeting Sammi or targeting Vox?
Targeting you.
Dogs.
Okay, good. No, that's fine. Bob prefers that, but
Hey, Bob. Make a strength saving throw.
If Asher was
Jesus.
here, you would already be dead.
I can't wait. This is great. I'm in love with everything that's happening right now.
Okay, all right. Just for ease of everything, everybody roll initiative.
For ease of everything, we're doing initiative?
Yeah, we are.
There are three or four people doing things just so I can keep
I
track,
will
so I
try
don't
to.
forget
I will
Hey,
everybody.
try
hey,
to
um,
make my case to the rest of them, of course.
Hey,
while
hey,
I'm doing this.
Gridmaster, I got a nat 20.
All right,
Okay.
everybody, form a line.
I really did not mean for this to happen, guys. I'm so sorry.
I love it. It's
Okay.
fun.
Dirty 20.
Okay, if we're doing
I
this,
mean,
and
this
by the way,
is-
that answer is a 7 there, Simon. So my strength
Bob,
saving
this
throw
is the
was
way,
a 7.
You know, like Power Rangers have to fight each other before we can like be friends.
Yeah.
I mean, if
So-
we're going by
Yeah.
6th rules, then yes,
Yeah.
that's how this works.
You know.
24 for Barb, 22 for Sammy, right?
Wait, what?
You got a nat 20 on initiative, didn't you?
No, I got a nat 20 to hit.
Oh, shit.
Oh
All right.
shit!
Yeah, no, that's fine. This is
That's-
fine. Everything's fine. And
I got a nat
the 7
19 on initiative, though.
There we go.
Okay.
I got a dirty 20 on initiative.
Also, my modifier is 2.
Mine is 3.
Okay.
I got an 18 on initiative.
Wow, we all just left her to death.
No, I'm glad this is happening. Bob is glad this is happening.
And when does crypto go?
Oh, you know,
At the end.
probably 6.
Aw.
Even my good die, good D20 is trying to kill me.
You failed me,
Luckily, it's
good
a-
die.
Luckily, it's initiative, so
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
got that out of the way.
Sammy, you just got punched. And you see Vox coming for another one. Are you doing anything other than freaking out?
I'm trying to shield myself. I don't know, like, what she can do.
What it would be is he doesn't have advantage anymore because you're not
No,
expecting
God
it.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to have had advantage?
On the first hit.
God.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't care. This is all story, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the initiative helps keep track so that nobody gets left out. And
Sure, of course.
and miss because there's so many of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Lyra, you doing anything?
She takes out. Scotty, you gave me the haunted guitar last time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
She takes out the haunted guitar, stands really menacingly, and says, "Don't fucking touch her again."
Simon, what are you doing?
Oh my god.
I think Vox needed a strength save, right?
I rolled
he
the
definitely
save, and that
failed.
was
He-
7.
Yeah, he definitely failed my save.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Tell me what happens.
you're gonna feel a little tighter around the collar, and then a little tighter, and then a little tighter, and then it's going to hoist you up by your neck as an invisible force lifts you into the air, and you begin to suffocate.
Oh, shit.
And you'll see Simon with his hand up like this, and little flecks of code, like binary, glow around his fingers.
Well, I would love to
It
see
is-
what this looks like, but I'm seeing your character art instead, so.
So you have a reference for this the man bun McYoga master guy, and is now completely out of joint and
Hmm.
is snarling at you with fangs extended.
Oh, friends, you guys are so
You will not touch her again, sir. Am I absolutely clear?
And what was Bark gonna do?
Super dynamic bark lead punch.
You do
Collision.
not mess with Sammy's friends.
Wait a minute. Totally not looking up something.
Oh, that's fine. I'll sit down and wait for you to finish looking. Tell me when you're done so I can go back to being choked.
Hell yeah.
Collision of 27 bones is a bony hand made of 27 bones because it's how many bones are in a hand. And since
I can't believe Vox got choked out and boned.
My safe word is pandas.
oh wow, he's blue now.
How dare you? I'm absolutely right.
So,
Okay, so
a nat
so
20,
how
is
much
that just double the damage? Because I'm not proficient with punches.
Sure.
Yeah, so it would be
8.
2 plus your
bludgeoning.
strength.
Did you roll the d100?
2 plus my strength?
Oh wait, what are you hitting him with?
Just my fist.
If you're not trained with
Yeah, if you're
unarmed
not-
strike, it's a 1.
It's a 1 plus
Yeah.
your strength mod.
Yeah.
So now it's 2.
Oh, so that 1 is doubled, not everything's doubled.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
because you don't double everything. You just double the
That'd be
dice, and the effect is you rolled a d1.
Yeah.
That would be 5. Yeah, 5.
Okay, sure.
And then I believe there was a Daiyo pistol whip in
Yep,
there.
I believe there was.
And as I shout, I involuntarily use the magic in my bones, and everyone has +1 to their attack rolls and saving throws, and +1 damage.
Oh.
That includes Bob because he's still technically an ally.
Guys, stop!
How much did you lift?
Oh yeah, how high in the air is he?
10 foot. He's 10 foot up in the air.
Oh,
Now
then
you
I
can
wouldn't have been
reach
able to
that
reach that. Wait, can I
You
do an
probably could've at
athletics
least-
check? And I
You
like
could-
slam dunk him.
I like that.
Sure, go for it.
I'll relinquish it, sure. That's fine. I don't want to spend the extra code points.
Wait, you're dropping me?
I'm gonna let him slam dunk you.
Oh, okay.
Scotty, what did you roll?
I got low, so 13.
Is
I'm
that
okay if I
versus
miss.
my AC?
No, that was just me
Um,
jumping straight up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it's not very difficult. I would say, yeah, you could have hit him. So
You're a
if
sports
you
ball player.
relinquished
You can hit a
it,
10-foot
then
vertical.
yeah, the Henshin gets hoisted up into the air, choked out, punched, dropped to the ground, and then promptly pistol whipped by Daiyo.
Oh yeah, Daiyo, what did you actually do with the pistol whip?
He's on the ground now.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing everything, I mean, Barkley looks angry and Simon got him by the neck, so I will just walk to Sammi, kiss her cheek, cast Cure Wounds level 3, and tell her that it's going to be okay, that we will make like a naggle with his bones for you. It's a D8, right?
Bob chose poorly.
Yes, it's 1d. Cure Wounds is 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier.
It's 1d8 for extra slot.
Oh, yes, plus 1d8 for each slot.
He
So
didn't
if you-
I
hit me
love
that
every
hard.
second of this, honestly.
Don't use your higher spell slots. He only hit me for 10.
I never use my spells. Allow me to do this.
Fair, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's metagaming. Go for it.
12. Heal you 12.
You're
Alright.
big, soft lady. Everybody loves you, and they're showing it right now.
So in
Maybe
that
it's just like, you guys, please.
in that moment of chaos, you guys do not see this. It's just you guys see all of this panic, and we freeze frame for a second. Screen fades to black, and elsewhere in the universe, Lunar Night.
Mm.
You have been sort of sifting through these files for about an hour now or so, and can't decide which one to click on next because some of them are like kind of long and you don't want to get into one until you're like emotionally ready for it, because some of them are a lot, and some of them are just boring because it's just like them talking about history. Like, who cares? What is that, Scotty?
It's Lilith.
And as you're sort of scrolling through these things, you hear over what you assume is the intercom. You've never actually heard it before. SH proximity alert. And you're just like, what? SH security proximity alert. And it's just on repeat. And Lady Slumber, the halfling woman with the long gold hair, sort of comes running around the corner, and she's like,
What the fuck's going on?
I feel like you're kind of needed. you know how we talked about using that ritual to contact your other
Sammi?
half, the twin soul? Yeah, to contact Sammi.
Yeah.
I think it would work now. I think she's finally close enough.
Okay.
She's okay. I know that none of this makes sense, but
I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, she here. I don't know where here is.
Okay. All right. So she is near a nexus that is keyed to your soul energy, I guess. I'll be honest, I don't understand a lot of the stuff. Most of the stuff, these files are a couple hundred years old, so I'm not 100% clear on everything that's going on. But all I know is you got to try and make contact with her. So we have, I'm gonna set up the circle and everything. And none of you guys see this, obviously. But she leads you back out to the central area, which and has that like circle of silver. Do I have that written down here? That silver powder that's sort of in a ring with various different aspects of different kinds of like incense and handful of things that you remember from your previous life, basically, that sort of tie you to this realm. Yeah. And she sort of sits you down and she's like, okay, and the other two basically come running in. Pavu, the Goliath woman, has sort of got like a pizza slice hanging out of her mouth. So she's like, I'm coming, sorry. Okay, all right, we're here.
You had pizza and you didn't share? What the fuck?
I'm sorry. It's not like you're really eating it. You're in cryo sleep. I can't. It's gonna be frozen by the time I hand it to you, hun.
I miss pizza, okay?
Pizza's still good cold, all right?
Fuck!
I'm sorry. It did the red shift again. It was so perfect. I love it. She sort of like sits down, and they all sit in that like three corners of the circle and direct you to sit in the middle. And they're like, okay, now just concentrate on Sammi and your connection to her as best you can.
All right. Big fuzzy lady, forearms.
And for a moment, it's really disconcerting because you're like, wait, is it working? I'm smelling pizza again. And you're like, oh, shit, god damn it, Pavu. And as soon as you go to say that, you feel this like intense feeling of like stress, but not like the normal feeling of stress that you associate with Sammi. It's more of like, it's less of like fear for life and more of like, what is going on? That sort of anxiety feeling. And you come to in a graveyard, standing around looking at Sammy's friends, and some rando you don't know who's on the ground and just got beaten or no, has not gotten beat, that's sort of on the ground with the rest of her friends sort of surrounding him.
Who the fuck is this?
Sammi, you hear that voice.
Now, I don't know what they teach you at Henshin Academy there, Mr. Voxhart, but I have to tell you, punching friends is not a very nice thing to do, and it's just Barkley just scolding, and just like that in the background.
If I may for a second, and I'm going to notice the change in the physical demeanor of Sammi. I'm going to just point.
Don't touch me, you fucking idiot!
No, I didn't touch you.
Yeah, no, see, look, you're already going into personal bubbles that you shouldn't be going in. Sammi doesn't appreciate that, doesn't even turn around, doesn't even notice that you're actually trying to, like...
I will look.
No, of course, and I love the commitment.
Is this another Shadow Henshin? Do I need to get your whip-ass thing to you?
Don't worry, Sammi, it's okay, I got this. So,
you guys realize that as she's saying that, so, when she first said the "what the hell is going on here" thing, and then with, her eyes are green, and then when she did the scream, they were Sammy's normal color, and now they're back to the green. It's a little disconcerting.
Oh, good, you're both here. I may not approve of your methods, Vox, but I can't deny it was effective. Can you stand?
As I was saying to Sammi earlier,
I'm gonna
this was
punch him
only
in the
to
face.
try and assist. I don't like to harm good people, and she's better than a lot of you. But you all do a good job of kicking ass, so I'll give you that.
I'm punching him in the face.
Go for it.
That's fine.
Using the Lunar Knight stats, if they're different, I don't think they are
Yeah,
much.
Which
Yes.
hand? Top left, lower right.
That's a dirty 20.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then arm strike.
Technically, it hasn't gone back to my turn yet, so you do have a +1 on those.
That's very true.
So that's 4 hit points.
That includes damage.
Yeah. 4.
You-
Yeah.
Okay,
I got
4 in
3.
total to my face?
Yeah.
You got it. Hold on a second here.
I don't approve of Henshin going rogue.
You're welcome, by the way, Lunar Knight.
Who the fuck are you, and how do you know me? I keep asking that, but people
first
don't
one-
answer me questions because I
first
guess
one-
I don't get to know anything about myself.
Okay, so first of all, you punched me, so I'm talking now to answer your question. Second of all, I'm trying to answer you, but you're talking through me. So do you want me to answer your questions, or do you want to just keep yelling at me?
That's Voxhart.
Cool. Is he?
Thank you, Crypto. I really appreciate it.
Is he a bad guy or is he just a dumbass?
We're
I
not
think
sure.
he's just a dumbass.
Oh, okay, got it.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that, but okay.
Well, you're not evil. I mean,
No,
Yeah.
I'm not evil. Why would I have come to save you from being killed if I was evil?
well,
Shit,
I, mean,
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I could give you any number of answers, but it don't
We're the
seem
good
very
guys?
Let's not get pedantic here. So,
Who's the good guy?
I love you. I love you so much. Oh my god.
Would y'all kindly try the door?
Thank you, Simon.
Gesturing to Sammy and the passenger.
So, what are we doing here?
You should probably just check out the door. It might make sense to you. Yeah.
Okay. I don't. Okay. I do know one thing though, is that you're near my soul energy or whatever the fuck, so I don't know what that means. But I guess it's in there, right? Do I recognize this place?
You've never seen this place in your life.
Okay.
She'd only seen it from the inside.
Can you read Lunar Knight or I don't know if you can grasp the concept of a riddle, but
I don't know.
It's
if you
just
can
that
grasp
we
the
needed you
concept
here
of,
to
I'm
open the
gonna punch you
door.
in the face again if you don't shut up.
I don't want to hurt Sammy's body, so let's just press forward and help both of you out.
Do you know anyone
Thank
with a name starting with V?
I know many people with a name starting with me.
I believe this would have been somebody from your own era, somebody in the past.
Yes.
And
It was a tiny-
what
it
was
a
their
small
name?
wolf, said
What?
Sammy.
I mean, there's a lot of names starting with V.
Sammy said it was like a small wolf lady.
Oh, Visca.
Maybe.
She's not small. She is bigger than I am.
Uh,
And I'm pretty tall.
Viscous? What?
Visca, you know.
Ah.
the hero at a time or whatever they call themselves.
So, the rest of the party, not Voxhart, I've actually heard a little bit about this. Last time you guys had access to the Lunar Knight for a decent amount of time to talk to her, she had mentioned that she was mentored by a woman called Visca. And a handful of you rolled really well on history checks to remember that about 200 or 300 years ago, during the Machine Wars, there was a famous hero she was one of the heroes out of time, named Visca Archspur. She was a Lunari De-Fragger. And it was her help with the reemergence of Ranger Prime that were the ones who helped end the Machine Wars and pretty much helped rebuild Ranger Command a little bit. And so basically, you guys just know her as a ancient hero who hasn't been around. She died 200-300 years ago. And you haven't really heard anything from her. No one's heard anything about her or Ranger Prime really since. But you also know that based on what you've gotten, what you know of them, those timelines don't match up. Bob, Vox, you are aware that the files for the Lunar Knight have been on file for over 1,000 years. So.
Hey.
Alright,
I'm
well-
going to admit I only heard part of that because I was trying to drum up attention over in the Twitch chat. Sorry.
That's valid. Mostly a bunch of lore dump talking about who this person Visca is. She's somebody that the timelines don't necessarily match up. You guys recognize her from your modern history. She was a person that was around about 200-300 years ago. She's since died. But seemingly the Lunar Knight's files began about 1,000 years ago, so.
Okay. So Vox wouldn't know about Hero Out of Time?
Yes, you would know about that.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of like famous people from history, sort of thing.
Yeah, we're talking about Tommy here. I gotcha.
That would be more like Yas.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I'm
The equivalent, yeah.
joking.
To go by our
Does that mean Vern was Jason?
to go by our Earth timeline for that 200-some year difference, it's like Abraham Lincoln, like that far back.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
Or
Though,
like, and her that bar back would be like Julius Caesar time.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Hail, true to Earths. Instead of Kaiser. And follow joke aside. So, now we got a name for the name. Apparently, we need you for this riddle. Talking about
Okay.
sun and moon and all that.
Right. Okay. I look at the of the door. I put my hands out. And I'm just like,
No reaction.
I think you have to be the one to push it.
oh. Why did nobody invent automatically opening doors in the future? What hellscape are we living in?
Wow, even
Master Prime, if you would so kindly open the fucking door.
wow, even in the future,
Nice.
service sucks.
Simon's
Also,
gonna like.
Mr. Vox Butt or whatever your name is.
Vox spleen.
Respect your elders, my man. And she's just gonna try to open the door.
Wow, I
Simon's
miss
gonna
Sammy
sidle up to
already.
You
I
get
hope that
over
she
it.
can get her her deposit back for the lease that you're putting on her life. You know.
Wow. Holy shit. Simon's gonna sidle up to Lyra and be like, so what's the Rye word for friend?
I don't know.
What big ears you have?
Yeah. Cat,
I think the Rye speak Elven because their
That's
lore
the-
is that they're highly evolved elves. But yeah.
Doors of Durin reference. Sorry.
So Lunar Knight, you go forward and sort of go to push the door open, and as your hand hits the stone wood door, it actually like shifts for a section. For a second, the texture changes, and under your hand, where there was stone, is now a security panel that scans Sammy's hand, and then you hear a voice, very quiet voice, go, "Identity confirmed. Please enter, Sammi Aura." And the door cracks open just slightly, and there's a little bit of like dust that falls open, and inside is completely dark.
Can you do that without me? I mean, this is just Sammy. It didn't even say my
Again,
name.
remedial English, remedial common would be helpful here. we needed the moon within the sun. So yeah, we did need you in Sammi for a moment.
Listen,
I had to punch the
mister-
poor girl in the stomach. So, and then I had
Do
to receive
not
a
hurt
beatdown.
Sammi again, because I will bring the wrath of Alpha Z upon your
I
poor soul.
cannot wait to see this person in real life, as opposed to hiding as a ghost in the shell of a dear, dear woman. So thank you.
A very large forearm, dear woman who could totally bend you in half.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wait a minute. I thought you were the deer.
Yes, I'm the moon. She's
The
the
best
sun.
part there was the delayed reaction from you.
You just broke silence.
I'm sorry. I just love the glowing
You actually
reaction
just-
where everyone just slowly realized that
I'm
stupid
imagining
line.
like a
Barkley
90s
made a
anime face fault, everybody's feet up in the air, suddenly legs akimbo.
Sweet truth.
I am moving in because I am done with Voxhart.
Oh, so glad. Oh, so glad.
I'm moving on.
Mooning. Anyway, so
Yeah, move on.
is everything all right with you, Lunar Knight? Because Sammi was saying about how she doesn't seem to have a connection with you or something, or there's some like interference.
I mean, I'm fine. Physically, I'm fine. I've solved myself. I don't know where I am, but I know where I am. I've seen myself, so I know I am physically. I just don't know location-wise. Never mind. But also, I was watching some stuff, and
Oh, you can watch videos where you're at. That's not too bad.
well, I don't know if I should tell you guys this.
Maybe you can catch up on some streams.
No.
Simon,
What
I think
is-
he just pops up. No.
Don't.
It's just been a
Way to go, amigo.
Congratulations, way to go.
Thank you. I'm doing my very best.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Just the like tinted fingers of dad anger makes it so much better. You're fine, Jesse.
Anyway,
I need my Gendo glasses right now.
So you push open the door and can see in the little bit of moonlight shining in. It's a relatively small mausoleum. All of the group of you would be a little crowded in there, but you can all fit in. When you first open it, though, you see a large statue. The base is maybe about 5 foot wide or so, side to side. Looks a little bit larger than life. You remember her being about like 6.5 feet tall. The statue is about 8 feet tall or so, of a Munari woman in armor that you do not actually recognize. Looks closer to the sort of stuff that you've seen in her later videos, the stuff from during the war. A Munari woman with a big gash over her eye. And as you open the door further in and look in, you see another statue about the same size, a little taller, of a Henshin. They're all like that sort of like gray stone, so no coloring to them. But a very familiar Henshin with a dragonborn head-shaped helm that goes up into a point. And then further in, you see a statue of a slightly shorter, which would have infuriated her, a statue of a half-elf woman with hair a little longer than you remember. Looks maybe a little bit older than you recall, but definitely still at like her peak. Wearing like a very, very demure, old-fashioned dress. Yeah, it doesn't make as much sense.
She just kind of squints at her like, what the fuck?
I will send y'all what look. Actually, I can just fucking show you on stream. Looks a little like that.
What the ding dong hell?
You guys can all see this now. It's like dim light, but they're huge statues. They're relatively easy to see. But it looks like that's the only thing in here. Are those large statues?
There's only 3 of them?
It is only 3 of them.
Wow.
Wait.
There's only 3 of them.
Wait.
You got snuffed, my man.
But wait a minute. Hold on. There's the Dragonborn with the pointy nose, and then the half
horn.
elf. Right, exactly. And then
And the multiple eyes.
Okay, so Yost got snuffed.
history forgot Yost.
History forgot the bass player. Yep.
Oh, that's so on brand.
She walks in and she like looks at this and like starts to get like very like she was like all pissy and like ready to fight, and then like 2 seconds later she just kind of like is like quivering and like makes a face at the elf lady like that's not right. That doesn't make any sense. And then she just looks at the Wanari and just kind of like gives her a little salute, and she doesn't like, I don't know how close they are or if they're like all in the same like positioning.
They're sort of like the room is a box and they're on the 3 corners. So
yeah, she
like
she doesn't look at the Dragonborn one.
Mhm.
Like she spots it out of the corner of her eye and just immediately turns away and does not look in that direction. And she just kind of like so is there a reason we came here to look at old statues, or? And she's like starting to tear up a little bit.
Simon's walking around with a sketch pad out.
Vox is going to go up and attempt to console this person.
Don't touch me.
There.
No, I understand. I'm sorry for the confusion earlier, and I'm sorry if this is harmful to you. But obviously, this must have some sort of answer for both you and Sammi. So let's just look around.
Are there like name plaques on these things?
There are not. I will say that all of you have been in your Redemy for a while, so you can go ahead and roll history checks.
Fine, a while.
I don't know, like 3 days.
It's been about a month, at minimum a month, I think, for all of you. Probably so much dice rattling. At least a month minimum for most of you. 3 years for Bark, and pretty much all her life for Lyra.
Do I get
You will you get advantage.
Yes, all right. Yes.
I definitely know who this is.
I know who this is.
I got a 23, so I think I'm all right.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I will say that Vox would get advantage on the one in the Henshin uniform.
The dragon one?
Yeah, the Dragonborn one. Yeah. She want another nat 20.
No. I got a 10.
Okay. Bark, we are rolling intelligence checks to see if we recognize these people based on how long we've been in the Academy. Or history checks, sorry.
17.
Okay. So it was 17 from Bark, 10 from Vox. What did Well, Lunar Knight doesn't need to roll. What did Daiyo get?
I should hope not.
What, sorry?
It was a history check to see if you can recognize the people in these statues.
I had a 4.
Okay. Lyra?
16.
Okay.
Work.
Simon?
You're muted, bud.
What did Crypto?
23.
Oh, nice. Okay, and Crypto.
14.
Okay. So, Daiyo, you are not sure. Voxhart, you recognize this Henshin, but you can't put a name to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking it's because the suit doesn't recognize. And you know, like, Henshin a lot of times change their suits, so you're guessing that the images you've seen of this particular one maybe don't match the suit you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Lyra, you immediately recognize that's Hertz, the most famous musician from Neo Redemy. You've probably been to a concert or two of hers. They have hollow renditions.
She's definitely written fan fiction of them, and she's like, she wouldn't wear that.
I know, right? Fucking bullshit.
Crypto, you possibly also recognize when Lyra says the name, you recognize, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think I've heard that woman's music before, I think. Simon, you instantly recognize these. You've seen like very old faded photographs in history textbooks from the Machine Wars. You're looking at two of the heroes out of time, or one of the heroes out of time. According to Lyra, the famous musician Hertz. And from what you remember of your trip to Ranger Command, you're pretty sure that might be the second Ranger Prime. His name was Vermithrax. Yeah.
Fascinating. But what does it all mean?
No clue.
But yeah, Lyra, you're kind of on point. That does not look like the sort of thing that Hertz would have worn. Because, like, you've read her autobiography, and, like, her autobiography, you're, like, 90% certain was probably written by, like, her,
lovers?
Manager.
I'm gonna promote my own character here. It was definitely, like, she read Mumps's thing. That was, like, a background of everything.
Yes!
It's like, oh, yeah, what the hell?
But like you've seen later pictures of Hertz later in life, because she obviously wasn't always a super hot, sexy, 23-year-old supermodel.
That's what you think, but she was definitely a gilf, and you know it.
But even toward the end of her life, even when she was pretty up there in age, she did not really dress like a dowdy old woman.
She probably dressed more towards like a sluttier version of like Commander Leia in the new movies. Like like business suit, but like Star Wars business suit.
So
I was imagining like the elderly, like super fancy fashion designers.
Yeah.
Anna Wintour.
Devil Wears Piranha.
Yeah.
No case.
Yeah. Very, very outrageous, but like also very nice.
I like to think she's like, no capes. Why are there no capes? We need more capes.
More capes. Capes are the
Cloaks,
best.
thank you. Cloaks are better.
Side capes specifically, right? It's Nightheart's thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, half capes are where it's at.
Yeah.
Wow, this place looks older than me.
This place is definitely older than you, bonehead.
I take no
This
offense to
statue
that.
isn't right though, like at all.
Well, what's the matter with it?
It has 2 arms, 2 legs, a head.
She would never ever wear that.
Well, then get rid of it. Isn't this like near your house? So, kind of it's yours, I guess.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't care.
Can I make an investigation check around the base of those statues for any kind of weird hidden passageways or secret
Go
trap
for
lines
it.
or anything?
Hey, Lunar Knight.
Yeah.
So you were saying out loud that this is not right, correct?
Yeah.
Vox's cogs start turning, and then he asks, Lunar Knight, you were talking about heroes out of time, correct?
Yes.
Maybe this is a space out of time? Perhaps that this is some set of statues from a different timeline? I mean, I may have read too many comic books, and that's fair, but...
I mean, I don't know when these were made. They were definitely made after I was dead. Particularly that one, and she points to the Winari. That she didn't look like that when I was around. Although to be fair, she was gone for 2 years before I fell asleep.
Oh.
Yeah. And I know she came back 400 years ago. So this was definitely made afterwards, and probably by Yas. This seems like the kind of bullshit you would pull.
Really?
But
Who is Yost?
You don't necessarily recognize the nickname, but now that she says it, things start to click into place. You recognize who that statue is. That is the second Ranger Prime, Vermithax Pejorative. And the Yost she's possibly talking about might be Astoria Nemosis, the first Ranger Prime, and one of the heroes out of time. Whose statue is not in this room.
Vox is just gonna go to the nearest wall and have a mind break for a second. Horns are the closest thing that he can get to his head to touch the wall, and he's just...
You doing okay there? Deer head?
If you're gonna come up with a derogatory nickname, I'll take Antlers. Secondly, it's only feeding a large part of my brain as to who and what and how big this really is. So I just need a second, okay? I've already
Take
been
your time.
physically. I'm being
I've
hurt
been
mentally.
where you've been like a week ago, I think. I don't know how time works anymore, my man.
I find it best not to think about it.
Does
I
anyone
guess
want to?
so. I don't know. Honestly, how long has it been since I've seen you guys?
What was that investigation check, by the way, Jesse?
I was going to say, does anybody want to assist?
Oh no, I'm having the brain break. Not me.
I'm gonna assist him.
Okay, so one of you roll with advantage.
I will, because I've got a +13 modifier.
Oh yeah, go for it.
All right, so that's kind of a shitty roll, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my saving face and add a +5 bonus because I've got all my friends around me and I don't want to look at it.
Okay.
Which is gonna make that 26.
Okay.
Look at you, Mr. Fancy Schmancy.
So as you guys are sort of arguing around, talking about this, Simon's sort of like peering around and looking, and the Lunar Knight is sort of just like, did you check behind? Did you check under? You sort of like start to check the base of like the base of this thing is a 5x5 square that's maybe about like 3 or so feet off of the floor, and you start checking the seam. And in that seam, about halfway down, a couple of inches above the floor, you feel a button there.
Oh,
And for context, oh god, I'm trying to remember the last time you guys saw the Lunar Night. Oh, it was only a couple of days ago. It was right before Henshin Day, when Sammi and Passion got poisoned.
Yep.
oh, right. No, yeah, the date. That was a good.
Yeah, and that was actually when she told you that Visco was her mentor. Yeah, so you find that button.
All right,
Are you gonna
well-
press this Hertz's buttons again?
Oh, you know I want to press Hertz's buttons.
It's okay. Our characters were married.
All right, I hate to do this, but I gotta give you guys a moment to chat amongst yourselves and determine which route you want to take to either RP this and talk about what the hell just happened, the fact that it's only been like 3 days since you've seen the Lunar Night, or what. But I'll be right back.
Okay.
Buddy.
Hey.
Back. Okay.
Okay. Great. By the way, I'm really sorry, guys, that I yelled at you before, like a couple hours ago or wherever time it was. I don't know what's
Westbrook
going
comes
on.
along, and before
I'm really stressed, and also it's been a long couple of years. I'm sorry.
Well, that's perfectly understandable how you'd be a bit aggravated. And no hard feelings there, Fox?
Oh, none at all. I would have done the same in the situation if I hadn't explained first. Absolutely.
And also, why are you? Also, I checked up on you guys, so I trust you now. I don't trust this guy. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm really glad that you guys are looking out for her.
Well, of course. We're friends.
Wait, you checked out on us?
Yes. Out of all of you, I would say Daiyo has the best bud, but Simon is a close second.
That's fair.
Thank you.
I moved my butt.
He asked if I checked you guys out. I did.
I don't have a good butt.
Don't worry,
You have a
Lyra.
very
Your butt
pretty
is
face,
fabulous.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks a lot.
You know, there's a whole nother
Also, you're
discussion
wearing
about-
like a long shawl kind of situation. I haven't had a chance to look at your butt. And I'm sorry about that. I would
my
like
bad.
to look at your butt, but that's neither here nor there.
That's my bad.
all I'm gonna say is there might be a little cross-cultural exchange happening here, because who knows what the aesthetic is for a nice butt among Restless. I mean, they might like it bony.
Are you kidding? I have the model hip bone out of all Restless.
You guys all have really nice butts. What the heck is going on in the future?
Crypto's dying.
I'm just like on this list that she has, like somewhere Bark is actually higher than someone else. Just like that's a nice butt right there.
Lunar Night, I need you to make a perception check.
Me?
I need you to make a perception check.
Okay. I got a good 7.
Okay, never mind. Don't worry about it then.
Okay.
You're too distracted by my hip bone. It's fine. I understand.
Oh, it's so
There's-
sparkly. Put that away. My God.
Oh, hey, universe.
Stop looking at it.
What did I miss? Did Bark get naked?
What?
No.
We're just talking about butts.
Try to have a
okay.
sincere moment and then it turned into checking out people's butts. That's all.
Oh, okay. That's
As-
valid.
As
That
happens
is
on
very
this
in
show.
character for her.
I mean, do you guys not already have like your butt tournament brackets?
That's. We used to do that in the academy.
Look, I quit after Apocalypse 87. Why that?
The academy. Anyway,
What academy did you go to?
the Henshin Academy?
Oh, right.
I was a Henshin. I am a Henshin.
I was gonna correct you
Sorry.
on that, hopefully.
I was just
Well,
hoping.
I am a Henshin, but I
was-
haven't registered. I don't think I registered in the last 1,000 years. I don't know if I'm still on the record as being a Henshin.
No, her license expired.
I didn't know if you were part of Jordan University or not. One of the lead schools for sports ball. They've been for a few
I didn't even
centuries.
I didn't even finish the academy, so.
So what happens when I press this button here?
Well, my friend.
Do you push it?
Oh yes.
Press this
I've been
button
pushing it like the whole
here.
time, like during this conversation. It's like
Out of nowhere, two little comedy bottles come out. Push it good.
Push it good.
Yes, you do.
Hunter, what? You need to clean up this.
So you push the You're fine, Jesse.
tell him.
Wreck 'em!
You push the button, and for a second you're like, okay, nothing happened, and then you feel a sort of shift, and that entire statue of hers shifts about 10 feet closer to the toward the dragonborn one, to the point where it almost looks like they're holding hands. And where her statue had been, well, awkward statue hand holding, like just touching. Where that statue had been is a spiral staircase going downward. That has little like very old looking style emergency lights. So there is a little bit of light down there.
Okay, just has like a moment of like, alright, let's keep going. Well, moving on.
I'm going to actually take a moment and sketch the architecture because you never get columns and staircases like this anymore. You can't find the granite
It's true.
or the architects.
And I gotta tell you, the statues aren't great. The likeness, so-so.
They're holding hands.
I know.
I love that it's like the I know these people and the like shipper. So you I suppose some of you make your way downstairs.
Yeah.
And you go down for probably a good, it's hard to guess exactly, but you're guessing you're probably at least maybe 30 or so feet below where you started, and come to a long hallway that is filled with pictures. It looks like at first they're like big, huge, like framed portraits. Some are like actual paintings, some are sketches, some are like actual photos of these individuals all throughout their life. There's one that all of you recognize pretty easily of all of these individuals, very young, with the tagline underneath of it. It almost looks like one of those like promotional posters that they sell at gift shops, proclaiming them the Red Army Rebels.
So it's like the old war propaganda from like French posters.
A little,
like
yeah.
Okay.
Where have I seen that before?
But it also kind of looks like those posters you would get at school at the book fair that had like a bunch of like neon slashes and dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
knowledge
definitely.
is power.
Yeah, that kind of tracks.
Radical integers.
A handful of like there's one like really nicely done like oil painting of that Munari woman, and an older an elf that you guys don't actually recognize, or you didn't see in this these statues at all. Long blonde hair, sort of tied back in a ponytail.
I believe it was white.
Was it white?
Yeah.
Okay, white.
Because he was like the most anime of anime dorks.
He was, yes.
I've only got part of his first form and the armor form.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember where I seen that name. It's on page 410 on Test Wave 2.
And one, Sammi, you come to, which is a little surprising. You're pretty sure that is art of hers. That might be an original painting done by Soul or by Passion.
Ooh.
Does Sammi recognize this, or does LK
Like,
recognize
is
this?
there
The,
signature on
like,
it?
the Lunar Knight is like walking by and like, okay, yeah, all right. I mean, I guess that style is interesting. Sammi, so meanwhile, while you guys are talking, normally when the Lunar Knight is in control, Sammi goes to that like cold, dark place where she's just asleep and cold and doesn't really feel anything.
Really?
This time has been completely different. It feels sort of like she's in the passenger seat. She's watching all of this. If she wanted to talk, she could.
Okay.
But she can hear and see everything that the Lunar Knight is doing and hearing and seeing. And she sees this, and whereas the Lunar Knight goes, oh, okay, yeah, that's her. All right. Cool style. Sammi goes, that's Passion's art.
She just kind of like touches, like almost touches it because she doesn't want to get dirty, and she just kind of says,
It actually, nothing down here is dusty. It looks like it's very well maintained. Like either this place is sealed very tightly or it's maintained regularly.
What is this one doing here?
You guys recognize the change of Sammi's voice, and if you look over at her, her eyes are a different color.
This
Welcome
one
back
was
to the
made by
steering wheel.
Passion.
Oh.
Wow, Passion's looking pretty good then. Isn't this pretty old?
I am pretty sure Passion is not that old.
I'm going to assume you don't just mean to say that the artist really meant and put blood, sweat, and tears into the performance of it. You saying this is from your girlfriend?
Maybe Passion's painting techniques have been passed down with family generations, and this is one of her grandparents or something.
There a signature?
Yeah.
There is, and it looks like I believe that Passion actually paints under a pseudonym. Whatever it is, it is.
I think she
Passion's
paints.
signature.
She goes by her like birth name, which is Gay. So I could be wrong.
Whatever it is her signature.
Why would an old painting like this, or what would this newer painting be here?
Neat. I pull out my phone.
But in the something is weird about this place.
You guys do see that hallway continues on with, so like, and initially all of those like pictures and paintings were in frames. As you guys go on, it looks like there are just infinitely more of them. It looks like at a certain point, whoever was decorating this place just stopped bothering putting things in frames. There are a handful that are like taped to the wall. Some of them have like that tacky glue stuff that you stick to school walls to stick posters to the wall. There's a handful of them where it's like a larger one that's straight up just leaning against the wall.
Are there any fridge magnets?
What was that?
I said, are there any fridge magnets?
Not on the wall that you can see. The walls are stone, not metal.
I'm just wondering if there's any like little like kindergarten drawings from like baby V that was wound up on the fridge and also wound up in the gallery here with like the original duck magnet.
Oh my god. That would be adorable.
If Rhymn would have gotten it for her as a gag gift, and she would have kicked his ass for it every day. Walk past the fridge. God damn it, Rhymn!
I'm driving.
So you guys continue on past these, or if you don't, if you guys are just stopping. I don't know who's leading the charge down this hallway because it's not very wide.
I will.
Yeah, somebody who can
Um,
cast light would be a good first starter. But
I
I'll-
would
I'll-
follow suit then.
I don't think she can cast light, actually.
Oh, jeez.
I could go in second or third position.
I mean,
Yeah, I want to be close to the Sammy body, so.
Sammi can though, can't she?
yes.
I will say that Sammi can pop in for a second to cast it because it's a cantrip and it lasts.
Okay. Yeah, Sammi would light her hands and just go, and a little orb of light turns on.
How anime of you.
You guys continue on and into it looks like another chamber, and this one opens up to be a very large round room, and here they have similar statues of the ones above, except these ones are far more realistic. They're like people sized, which is a little startling at first because you guys first walk in there and the first thing that you're accosted with is a realistically sized Wunari woman with a at first it, like, with the weird way the light shines, it almost looks like a snarl, but then you realize that, oh, that's a grin. Wunari, it's not always the easiest to tell on first glance. Looks like instead of the armor that she had, she is wearing what looks like a very old and tattered sort of plaid shirt and jeans. Look over to the right of her and see that familiar dragonborn. This one ununiformed. You recognize Voxhart. Actually, Voxhart and the Lunar Knight instantly recognize those are very, very old school versions of Henshin Command uniforms. So, like, Henshin Command has the sort of like dress uniform aside from the like Henshin armor that they have, and over the decades they've changed. Every couple decades they come out with new ones. Those
like
are
Star Trek uniforms.
Yeah, basically they're very similar to that. Yeah. Very similar to that. He is the like chevrons and symbols he's wearing denotes that he has the highest rank in. He is wearing the mark of Ranger Prime. And you would know from history that only 2 people have ever held that title. It was Eustorian, who was the first, and then after he was lost to history, Vermithrax took it. And then several hundred years later, when the Heroes Out of Time showed up, Eustorian took it back. And then there has never been another one named aside from those 2. And then the last one is somebody that all of you sort of immediately recognize. That's Hertz from looks a little older than her prime, but wearing very much something a lot closer to what you guys would recognize from concert sort of thing. And she's actually holding her very famous guitar, except instead of that that sort of stone material, it is neon blue. And the strap around the statue's shoulder is like rainbow colored. That guitar is not a statue. And you sort of look around, and scattered all throughout this room are just piles of things. There's like an ancient board game that's still in like the cellophane. There's let's see if I can find the list of stuff. There is a old bass guitar sort of leaning up against the statue of Hertz. There's
This is clearly all the Horcruxes if you want to kill yours for good.
Folded up next to the statue of the Wunari is an old leather jacket. There is just scattered fucking everywhere Hertz band memorabilia, like mugs and t-shirts and
underwear.
like the sort of stuff that you would get from the gift shop. Like it's not exceptionally, it's not like, oh, this shit is old. In fact, a lot of it looks really new. All sorts of things.
I can't believe we found Passion's weird closet.
There's like a bottle of wine that's dusty. It looks like it hasn't been opened for a really long time.
This is the weirdest closet I've been in. I've been in a few.
You should really get out of the closet more often.
As you're sort of glancing around, Voxhart, you come to sort of step on something that shines in the light, and you look down and it looks like it's half of like a really old coin that has like some sort of animal or something on it.
Can I use a perception check to see what that is, or an investigation, whichever you prefer?
Sure, go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah, I'm going to pick
roll
it up,
yourself.
absolutely. All right, what am I rolling?
Investigation, I'd say.
Investigation, okay. 18.
Okay. It's not like it can't be, because you're fairly certain that those don't usually stay, but it looks very reminiscent of the sort of thing that the very old-fashioned recasters used. They used a coin technology,
yes,
sort of thing. It looks very similar to that, but like
battle
broken
damage?
in half. Not necessarily battle damage, just like straight up broken in half.
Coin about this big?
No, it's big
Like
issue, so
coin size.
I actually have something.
yeah,
that's
like
worth.
a large coin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, did I not bring it back? Oh no, here it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
Probably a little bigger than what you're talking about, but about that. Cut in half.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is the bass guitar, is that Yas's or mine?
It doesn't look like a specific one. It doesn't look like actually his. It does look like the same
replica?
style that he used.
Okay.
However, you're sort of like trying not to look at it because you don't really want to deal with the memories, and you happen to glance past glance past the keytar and see in the corner of your eye that engraving. Remember the name.
Oh, neat.
For a half second, you didn't want to think. You were like, "Oh, it's just." That might actually be hers.
Barkley,
Now that you really kind of take sort of like watching it out of the corner of your eye, you see the little keychains dangling from the corner.
It's like,
so the statue's
I
holding
believe
it.
that I said it was like a key that doesn't open anything, a dinosaur, and a replica of the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm. Those things.
Yeah.
You said the statue's holding it, right?
Yeah.
Does it look like it could be removed from the statue, or the statue have to have the arms broken or moved in order to?
You'd have to try it, but if you do, it lifts out.
Don't do that, please.
I'm not. I was wondering.
It's dangerous. It will literally kill you. Don't.
Glancing around, you also see what looks like lots of different bits of like miscellaneous stuff. There's like a little box that you sort of like glance in. It looks like it's binoculars. Next to it is a sort of helm that's just sort of like facing off to the side, and you turn it and oh, that looks a lot like the one upstairs. Sort of magenta in the shape of a dragonborn head, laser dragonborn head.
So, Sammy, the thing wanted you to come here. Do you know what for? Does any of this seem like something that you should have?
I mean, I don't know what Sammy would want with these things, but
Oh, I wasn't sure if both of you were listening because you keep changing, so I'm not sure.
yes. Well, this stuff doesn't really mean anything to her, but you know, it means a lot to me.
Well, I just ordered this really nice guitar stand. It'd really nice if I had something to put it on it.
I'm not letting you have that guitar. You know that, right? If anything, I will let her have it. She seems like she could use the extra protection.
You said it's dangerous, right?
It can blast really powerful attacks.
Will it like blow up if we try to touch it, or?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of protection this place has on whatever items this is. It looks like somebody's storage closet. But
if everyone backs up for a second, I might be able to get it safely.
But I don't want you to get hurt.
Oh, I won't get hurt.
That's not a risk I'm willing to take.
He might, though, as another Barkley is standing right next to me. Hi.
I forgot you could do that shit.
That's disconcerting. Are you guys concerned about this, or?
Yes.
No, we're used to it by
You've
now.
never seen this before. I forgot.
Without looking at each other, they do like an overly elaborate high five.
Should I make some sort of a wisdom save at this point between timeline issues and this and that?
In the back of her head, Sammy's like, no, he does that sometimes. So she's just like, don't worry.
You probably definitely have a headache starting, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Crypto walks past. I told you not to think about it.
Crypto, as you're sort of looking around, you also see there's a like a short sword laying against one wall that sort of has like a black hilt that's wrapped in black leather, and the blade actually looks like a very shiny black steel.
It's pretty edgy.
Sorry, Vox.
God damn it.
But one Barkley at the end of the high five via to make the touch spell. Suddenly there are 6.
No.
As the other me casts mirror image.
What a dick.
I love him so much.
And then 5 Barkleys that are really close to each other go up to the statue and attempt to interact with the guitar.
Thankfully, Vox is too concerned with this, not sure if replica, not sure if otherwise, thing in his hand. So he stops carrying after the first view comes out. So
brain just shuts off at 3 or more barks is too many barks to deal with.
Too many barks, too many barks.
I want to pick up the bass.
Okay.
The best time to have a Barkley is all the time.
It looks like good quality. It feels new though. Like you've held like antique guitars, and this definitely feels like it's newer. It actually is a little disconcerting too for you, because you're guessing they've sort of redone how they make these things in the last 1,000 years, because it doesn't feel like the same textures you're used to. But if you sort of strum a couple things on it, it sounds good, but you can tell that it's not yours and it's not Yost's.
Yeah, she plays a little bit of a ditty, like an old song.
Bark, you pick up the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
You have to sort of like get the thing over the head, but it comes free. And as it sort of comes free, you guys all hear, and at the doorway of where you guys walked in is a projected hologram. There is a like a light above the doorway of somebody that several of you guys will recognize instantly. That is Ranger Prime.
Which one?
The 5 Barkleys immediately
The most
hustle over to
recent
Lyra
one.
and give her the guitar.
You
and
son
they
of a
disappear.
bitch! What the fuck?
Wait, what happened? What happened? I missed it through the substance. What the fuck? What did you say, Kat?
This is you guys are looking at Ranger Prime the First at Yost, at least a hologram of him. Sort of arms held in front of him. So as you should all know, he's not like making eye contact on any of you. Following the clues left in the Ranger Command Museum, the Lunar Knight is safely hidden on the moon. But she cannot come from her protective cryo sleep, unfortunately, until she and Sammi Aura can make physical contact. Only then can their twin souls truly awaken or unite, or I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure on the magic parts of this. It's never been done before. Yeah.
God damn it, yes.
But the safest way to get to her should be through to the moon is through Visca's eye. The location of which is obviously hidden, and thankfully if you're hearing this, you will have already found the clues in the Ranger Museum that will lead you to its location. So go forth now and finish this 1,000-year legacy, and feel free to take any of the mementos left in this room to assist your endeavors. And
I'm going to murder him.
And at this one, where is the Lunar Knight? I believe was standing in front of which statue?
The Hertz one.
Turns to look, and you're like, oh, okay, no, he's looking at the statue, but the statue is like normal human height, so it almost looks like he's looking straight at you.
Okay.
I'll be happy to see. I hope that you can get out of this safely, Sammi.
I'm gonna murder your ass. I'm coming for your little bitch ass. I'm coming for your lizard tiny dick ass. I'm coming for you.
And the hologram vanishes.
I swear to God.
Is this LK or is this Aya screaming?
No,
right
it's in character.
Okay.
I just read your message, Scotty.
I don't know if you noticed, but I was going like...
I
did, yes.
Simon looks up from his sketch pad like, what? He's just been taking all of this in and doodled the hologram of the Ranger Prime and all the fucking architecture and the statues and everything. The knickknacks, nods, and ends. Even a quick little doodle of just the Lunar Knight just enraged face as she's trying to scream at the hologram of Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I love the red thing that you were talking about earlier on her again, Kat.
Yeah.
The red shifting.
Yes. Oh man, it's so good.
She is pissed. She's like, I want to destroy everything in here, but also I don't want to destroy the shit.
The last bits of my friendship.
Swear to God.
Sweet.
Why does he have to be so dramatic?
Sweet, that means we can go to the moon. I hear there's a lot of cheese there. Heard it from a tiefling.
No, God.
No.
Fuck off, Scott.
Crypto walks up to Daiyo, like looking at the black sword, and was just like, "What's happening?"
Sammi has twin souls and Lunar Knight's on the moon.
That's neat.
Oh.
Just nonchalantly, that's neat.
I told you, don't think about it.
Also, that really cool guitar was not trapped or anything, so I gave it to Lyra.
Okay.
This is her guitar. This is her guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is she turning a different shade of pink?
Unless she's blushing.
It's like from like.
Listen.
Oh my God.
I'm 100% sure that she would love for a pretty wonderful person like you to have it.
I mean, if you don't want me to have it, you can take it back, or we can destroy it, or whatever. But I mean, come on.
No. Stop.
If anyone here that should have it, it should be you, Lyra.
Yeah,
You're the musician, after all.
I can't play the guitar, even though she's tried to teach me how to play it. I'm just not very good at it.
Also,
I'm more of a bass lady myself.
Also, apparently you built a whole ship for her, so I mean that just makes sense that you should have it.
What?
She mentioned something about shipping hurts.
Oh, really? With who?
It's really fascinating if you look at her posts on the internet.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fair. They were adorable.
Lyra plays a few notes, a few keys on the guitar.
It sounds amazing. And you can sort of get the feel from it. What you're holding is definitely magical. It's pretty powerful, and to get the full access the full extent of what it can do, you probably have to attune to it.
Okay.
Which takes about an hour usually.
Oh, so you found a Moog.
Do 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 do. I like to think is what you would first play. That or Toxic.
So I have no problem saying this aloud because I was trying not to interrupt play, but after hearing Yost say what he did, you're gonna see Vox just scouring, literally on hands and knees, to make sure that if there's anything else that we might need, that we get that.
Sort of scanning through, you can find out a handful of things that stand out as like a finer make, or a handful that actually you can. There are some magic items that when you touch them, you can actually feel a throw of power through them. There are a handful that do have that.
Okay.
The laser dragon helm. There is a shiny silver rod with several buttons on the side that sort of feels magical.
Mm-hmm.
A fuck off, bark. A pair of glasses with blue tinted lenses.
Ooh, those look
sort of sparkly.
Those look stylish.
Wait. Are they my lenses? Because they were yellow.
Then yes, they're yellow.
Oh, those look stylish.
I'm going to take a look at that silver
slowly
stick.
trying to compile these into the helm, just because the helm can hold these things. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The sword that I believe Crypto is still carrying around, or was showing to Daiyo. And then the last one is it was actually like in a little box, almost like a jewelry case. It is a single piece of jet in the shape of like a fang on a simple black cord. That it feels like it's got a strong energy to it, and as soon as you pick it up, you see that it glows very faintly with a sort of neon blue energy that fades away very immediately.
Oh, okay. So taking the helm with all these little goodies in them, I bring them up to everybody, and do you all know what's... do any of you know how to identify this? I'm not really the magical sort.
I know what they are. Does that
Oh,
help?
well, great. Do you mind enlightening us?
I believe these are glasses.
Yes, and they give you protection and make you look really cool. Like the coolest skeleton I've ever seen.
Thank
So
you for the
Bark,
fist bump, Daiyo.
question. Do you have dark vision?
Who? What?
Bark, you put them on, didn't you?
Oh, let me check. I think I do. Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna hurt.
I could see in advanced darkness.
It doesn't actually grant you anything more, but you get the sense that these can help you see in the dark, and you kind of feel a little smarter with wearing them.
Oh no, then these are not mine. I'm already smart. She had the glasses of
Glasses, shades of protection.
shades of
Plus
protection.
one.
Yeah.
They might be rooms though.
I'll take off the earring of disguise and try to attend to that stick, the silver one with the buttons.
Okay. So you have the rod. Lunar Knight, you recognize that helm has elements that remind you of elements of like sketches that you've seen from the dragon mask that Rhymn got during that final fight. Something is very squeaky. Got during that final fight with I'm trying to remember who that was. The final fight of the war with
Rhym's
I believe
dad?
with his dad.
That's totally scaled to our level. Sure.
The
Laser
the
dragon mask.
glasses, they sort of like it looks similar to it, but it doesn't look exactly the same. It looks like they've probably been changed or altered somewhat over the years.
Okay.
The two things that you don't recognize at all are the sword that Crypto has, and that
Pendant.
the pendant.
I was probably belonged to Yas and Visca when they were later in time, I guess. I don't know what those are, but everything else, no, that belonged to my never mind.
Found family.
What?
You heard me.
Oh.
No, I did.
Oh, no, found family is what I said.
I mean, not found.
I mean,
I guess.
if this is from your family, then this is yours here, and I just put the glasses on Sammi.
No, it's fine. I don't need them. You can have them. I'm okay.
You know, Sammi says the same thing, and she only says it when she's not okay.
I'm fine. Listen, this is like the most closure
Vox is
I've had
genuinely
in
astounded
a
at Barclay's
1,000 years
intense-
about the person I've been looking for. For about 2 years before I disappeared. So I'm okay.
Vox just looks over to Barclay and
What?
out of character Bark is one of my favorites. Absolutely, 110%.
I'm surprised he's not dead, to be honest.
I mean, he's a skeleton. He's always dead.
He's an alive skeleton, as a friend of mine would say.
But I will say, given enough time to sort of play with these, you can figure out some of their properties. If any of you would like to play with them and see what they do.
I certainly will.
I offer it out to them. This isn't my business, so.
You guys can have anything.
With Barclay,
I'm keeping the base though. It's cool.
Oh, the other thing that Vox noticed while he was sort of pawing through everything, which he probably wouldn't have shared. He's like not all of the stuff is like stuff to them. It's like a lot of just memorabilia of just random stuff that it's looked like this person that whoever was maintaining this collected. There are a handful of like several books about different history events and sort of things, and sort of tucked between one. Yeah, that's a signed photograph of Barclay. Put that back in there.
What?
That only makes
Wait,
sense.
is this Barclay pre-awakening?
No,
is this skin and
it
flesh,
looks.
or is this him?
It looks like Barclay in the basketball shorts with the team and everything.
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, let me see that.
You don't know what I was looking through. You
Your
son of a
passive
gun.
perception is not high enough to notice that.
I don't stash it away. I take that.
Okay.
That could be useful later. It's a signed photo. It's a signed autographed thing of Barclay. Is it just him in the picture, or is it with somebody?
It's just him.
Oh, then I don't give a shit. Here, take that.
Here, Bark, I got you
My
a gift.
indifference, my anger, and really just I don't care anymore.
Oh, hey.
So
Wait. What's this doing here? This might be a fake. And I start investigating it. See how old it is.
Go for it.
Do I have advantage because I know myself way too well? Because I'm a narcissist. Thank you.
I love that that's a thing that actually came up in game. Do I have advantage because I'm a narcissist?
I mean, I feel like you would know your own signature, but
16?
As far as you can tell, it looks like yours. Like the way that you have the E trail off at the end looks like yours. Looks like the same sort of like pattern of the way that you run out when the Sharpie gets low on ink.
A more curious question: how old does it seem like it is with that investigation?
This one is from right after you won your first championship, so about 2 years, I think.
Oh, this one's worth a bit.
So
this is my rookie signature.
Whenever I happen to attune to that rod, what do I need to be doing? Do I just make an investigation?
Well, you can make an investigation check, or you can press one of the 6 buttons.
Well, I really love my investigation bonus, so I'm going to try that
Go for it.
first.
While he's figuring out his investigation bonus, I'm just going to poke at LK and say, hey, so about that whole space-time thing. I mean, this is a wide range. Are we just going to assume that this is like a depository that maybe Yost comes in and out of here?
I guess so. I know as much as you do.
25.
Apparently I'm on the moon. I should have known. I love the moon.
Do you though? Do you really?
Yeah. I've been there. I was there when it was not like all fancy and cleaned up or whatever the fuck.
I have no idea.
You have no idea what she's talking about.
Guys blew it up once. I'm not gonna let him forget that.
I'm gonna take a note from Crypto and just, he doesn't say anything, nods at me.
So that
if he looks over, you see just like a.
So that 25 investigation for Simon.
Oh yeah, so you're assuming that each button makes the rod turn into something else. What the fuck is that?
Oh god!
It's the old Quiznos commercials. I don't like it.
No! Put it away! What the hell?
Old Quiznos. No. Please no.
The more I look at it, the worse it gets!
Here's my voice. Here's my voice for it. We like the moon.
It's so weird. It broke Aya's green screen.
Again.
We have to move!
I hate that.
I don't know what that is.
Bravo.
I don't know what that is, but that's the voice I hear in my head for it.
Look up old Quizno commercial later. You'll know.
Simon,
I'm scared.
You're guessing you would have to actually press them to see what it does, but you're guessing that the lower down the button is, the bigger whatever it makes the item into.
Is there a business end to this, like a clear end you do not want to be
yeah, you can tell there's
I'm
like
sure there is a business end.
Hold on a minute.
0
Did I
seconds.
accidentally like attune to one of Hertz's old toys?
the bottom end of it is sort of round. It's
It
shaped
gets
like
bigger the lower you go.
it's
I
shaped
rolled a
like
nat
a
20 on
magical
innuendo,
rod.
Yeah, and it runs on power, and it gets bigger the more buttons you push. And I see the remote for this.
Do you feel
found
more
Hertz's
energy
old
come through
dildo.
the lower the button goes?
I can feel it humming with power. Or
Mhm,
something.
mhm.
We seriously need spells.
This is your
Like
fault.
one's just
The
called
nickname is
PG-13.
Steely
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try a button.
Sorry.
Point it clearly away from everybody.
Which button?
I'm gonna start with a low setting first, or what I would assume to be a low setting.
Does this look like somebody bought an extra attachment, or
Please tell me there isn't a bunny rabbit on it.
love you, cat?
When you press button 1,
That's the thrum of the energy. That's all. What's going on?
I hate you all. It turns into a longsword. Okay, it turns into a
Whoa!
sword.
It's long?
Is it curved? Like a katana?
No, it's a longsword. It's just. Oh,
No, I'm serious. Like katanas are longswords, and
No,
no, I understand. Yeah, way to play dumb, Scotty. A+.
well, I was serious and not serious simultaneously.
This is
Ah.
what
But I genuinely
happens
did want to
when
know.
I get reminded of hurts.
it is perfectly straight.
No,
That'll be a first for this campaign.
Yeah.
What about
yeah.
Does it have a guard on the handle?
Yeah, we'll say it does.
All right, I'll try the next.
cool,
I'll
it
try the
comes
next
with
button.
personal protection.
I like the longsword.
Lunar
really better.
Knight, you recognize this instantly. It looks a lot like Rhym's Cyclohammer.
Oh, shit,
Except
what
you
do I
didn't
want?
see it turn into a longsword that often. You more often saw it in the form of like a big ass maul, or very rarely a great axe.
Well, no, this is a fun little thing. Wonder what this button does. we're gonna go for the big end of the stick now.
Hill deep.
Yeah.
The last one, when you click it, it goes from the longsword. It just sort of retracts back into the original shape as the rod, and sort of spins in place before pointing in a specific direction. You can roll another. I will say this would be either general intelligence check or survival.
Can I help?
Okay.
Go for it.
I will. Okay, I will roll a standard intelligence with advantage then, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, advantage really helps. So that's going to be an 18.
You're pretty sure it's pointing to magnetic north.
Oh, fun.
Do you think I can have that, please?
Certainly, yeah. I'll surrender it and stick my earring back in.
She holds it and she just kind of like shakes.
You all right?
Yeah.
Do you
This,
want to keep that? You're welcome to it. It's fun, but I have my own little toys.
I'm not even gonna dignify that response.
Good. And then Voxhart still holding on to the pendant. I know it's not the right shape, but he offers that over to Simon.
Ooh. What's
Because that's the only piece that I think hasn't been divvied out yet, right?
Yeah, I believe Crypto's holding the sword. Bark has the glasses.
Lyra has
the
keytar.
keytar.
Daiyo get anything yet?
Yeah, it's the dragon helm and the amulet that haven't nobody's played with yet.
So I hold both of those out. I wish I had a helmet nearby, but I'll just have to use this extra set of headsets.
I feel like I can trust you guys. I don't trust Mr.
Go by Voxhart if you don't want to find another name for me.
Voxhart.
Makes life easier for you.
wow.
So like close your ears or whatever. Do you have ears? I don't know.
Can you?
We're on
can
the
somebody-
same team, even if you are being an ass about it. Let's just go forward, please.
Nice.
You punched me in the gut.
I punched Sammi in the gut reluctantly. Can
We
please
share
get off
we
this and
share we
continue?
share a consciousness. You punch us in the gut.
I
Make it up to
don't
Sammi
think
later,
my head's
please.
quite the right shape for that mask, so maybe Crypto might want to take that.
Do what now?
The way that it's shaped, you would be able to fit a normal human head in it.
Out of character, I already know that mask with broken ass, so I'm gonna go with the pendant. and see what that's about.
But yeah, you were going to say okay.
These people were very important to me. They're my family. They'll always be my family, even if they're gone. So, I've seen you guys. I know how much you protect Sammi, and I know how much you protect each other. I'm glad she has somebody, and I have her, I guess. What I'm trying to say is, if you guys would help me, I will protect you. And that's an absolute promise I'm gonna make.
Well, that's very touching, but I think kind of the point of this whole entourage is that we protect each other.
Right. Well, I guess you should know. My real name it's Vina. Yosevina, but I go by Vina because Yosevina only if my dad is mad at me. But Yosevina Laser Beat.
Yeah, that's a pleasure to make your acquaintance at last, Ms. Laserbeat.
Lyra definitely knows that it's his last name.
I was gonna ask, should I roll an investigation check, Kat?
No, she would have made it a public thing. I don't think like that's a
So you recognize that it's her last name. I will say Lyra, and we'll say the only other person, so Lyra because of her history with knowing about famous musicians, and then Voxhart because of your familiarity with Henshin, can both roll history checks.
Sure. Okay. 12.
17.
Okay. So Voxhart, you're starting to put things together and things are starting to make sense, but Lyra, you know that Hertz had a daughter that all of the records say she died, but she didn't have a tomb next to her mother's, which of course by now her tomb was lost in the Machine Wars. No one's really exactly sure exactly where it is. But you know that immediately after her daughter died, Hertz wrote a specific song for her, and that she never really quite moved past the loss of her daughter. And now you're beginning to wonder if her daughter ever really did die at all.
Lyra's probably put the keytar on her, so when she drops it, it just swings to her back. And she goes, "Holy shit."
Enlighten?
I'm their daughter.
Congratulations.
When you hear that, Voxhart, you do remember that Vern and Hertz did have a daughter. You weren't 100% sure what had happened to her. You remember vaguely hearing that she was training to be a Henshin, but it didn't work out. And then, like, now that Lyra's mentioned it, you're like, oh yeah, whatever happened to that daughter? She died, didn't she? Oh.
Not with nope. No. I got it.
Hearing the sorts of things through Lyra, you're starting to put things together.
Yep. And meanwhile, we just have Crypto down here having a snack, being like, "Oh, that's fine."
Apparently, we are
But
monsters.
you
We've
guys
just been
can't.
put to
I
death.
don't think that anybody is supposed to know that. That might cause trouble for you guys, and also, you know, Sammi. I know that people are already trying to get at her. So what I'm asking is that you please. I know you're doing it already, but please take care of her. I can't always be here to do so.
Oh, don't worry about it. This isn't the first celebrity secret I know of.
You need a hug.
Yes, please.
Okay, hug.
Oh, I love group hugs.
Oh God, are there 27 barks?
No, they're gone.
No.
They're gone.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Actually,
No, but I'm gonna follow Bark's
they're back.
Thing.
I'll spend the spell
Oh.
slots.
There. Oh yeah, definitely. Simon will get in under an arm.
Yeah.
And we'll say that we can close on the group hug unless there's anything else you guys want to do before we finish. And for those that attune to them, I can send you a message telling you what your stuff does.
Yes, please.
I guess
I want that
Sorry,
magic
check.
rod, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, we
Hey,
have already. Does Daiyo want the helmet then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh my God, she's gonna look so cool.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Like a biker helmet?
No, it's a laser dragon
it's-
crystal helmet.
It's a dragon mask.
It would look very familiar to a thing that you've drawn before, Lluis, that I asked you about earlier today.
Oh. Well, it kind of looks like a biker
I
helmet
might
then.
have fibbed in the Discord about why I needed that image. He drew the art of Vermithrax that Josie had up on the chat or
Yeah,
in the
the
video
one
earlier.
that I recall, because Lluis has an arachnophobia thing, is not wholly fond of. But hey, you've got a cool item.
Oh yeah.
Well, the mask doesn't look like a spider. It
Yeah,
looks like
the helm doesn't look anything
The-
like
just-
that.
just his-
Right.
his hand
Daiyo
eyes.
I thought there was
doesn't
one
have
over the eye.
arachnophobia, so
I-
it's fine.
I don't know why, but I have the odd feeling that Voxhart, you're gonna head back to base pretty soon.
No, I'm here as long as y'all want to keep me. So you tell me when you want me out. Otherwise, Vox will see through Sammy's protection till she doesn't need it anymore.
Oh, that works. Okay.
I have some words to speak of with some people at command center.
Oh.
That's nice.
I believe
Whatever could you mean?
Yeah, so we'll get to those angry words at Ranger Command next time. Before we wrap up, anybody got any plugs? We'll start with our guest. So Bob, you got anything going on?
Hey, hi, Worldwide Sentai. This is Bob Skerry VOA. You'll find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram by that handle. Or you can go to my website, bobskerry.com, to listen to my voiceover demo recordings. Soon enough, I think. I still have to get the counters out to players, but next week I'm going to be trying to run my first in my series of Friday Night Fiasco. If you've never heard of Fiasco, go check out the tabletop episode that was done by Will Wheaton. It does a good job of explaining it, but it's fun because everybody's going to fail and die, and the best thing that can happen is that nothing happens.
Yep.
If you want to check it out, you can watch the two episodes that I tried to do on, I think at least one of them is still up on VOD on my channel. So just go to twitch.com/BobSkerryVOA and you can watch something.
Yeah.
Period.
Aya, you got anything going on?
Hey everybody. I'm doing commissions right now. So if you want to hire me to draw your cute little D&D characters or smooching butts or whatever, because I've drawn that before.
Is that butts that smooch or people smooching that butt?
Yes.
Yes.
All my information is on my Twitter, which is iGolder. Just look me up. I am the the mom friendo, and yeah, you can go see all the cool stuff. I would very much appreciate it. I need
Oh,
money
shit,
for
I drew
vacation. What?
I drew that.
Yeah, I had Sorry, I was getting it set up because I knew you were going to be doing your pitch new. So.
I love those. They're so cute.
Lluis, you want to go next?
Sure. Follow me on Twitter if you like Pokemon and D&D. Check my Patreon if you like sex and D&D.
I sure do.
Kissing butts.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. You know, it's not like we're playing in a setting that you do the entirety of the art for or anything.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that one.
I'm tired and it's late. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, it went a little longer than I had hoped.
No, it's okay.
Callie, you're up next.
I'm Capped Callie on Twitter. I have commissions open all of the time. Please give me money. I drew the art.
Save Timey Tim.
I drew the art that is on Jesse's screen right now. I am in a bunch of games that'll probably be talked about. But yeah, that's me.
I know. I'll probably be buying some emotes from Callie soon, so please join people. Do the same.
Yes.
Join
us.
Jesse, what you got?
So Sunday, we have our Waterdeep game that is now turned into maybe a Spelljammer game. And, yeah, so marvel at the lack of cheese on the moon. Gasp as we see patients do some other boneheaded thing and almost get killed. Sit awkwardly as Rourke the Bard sings just a little bit too long.
Scotty's character in that one, Patience, is so dumb, and I love him so much.
I love Patience so much.
He's so stupid.
That's why
I wanted to get him and Arlie to meet because they're both boneheads.
There was a very extended sequence where we talked about how he was so convinced that the moon was made out of cheese, that we ran into Volo. By the way, fucking Volo's the camp, what's his nuts, on the moon, because Kevin's a dick and knows we all hate this asshole, and was like, yup, I have moon cheese here, Patience. You just gotta give me 10 gold. What was it, 10 platinum for it that you gave him?
No, 10 gold.
It was fucking cheese from our bar.
That's such a Volo move. I love it.
Beautiful.
Because Kevin's a troll and Scotty buys into it and is like, yep, this is funny. I'm going to do it.
But
yeah,
if
that's that.
Is that everybody?
One second. Reese, right? You got anything?
Nope.
Last one for stream leader. I don't have much. Follow me on Twitter. I may or may not be coming up with a new game that I'll be running soon, so we'll see. I don't know when or who I'm going to be putting stuff out there for, but keep an eye on my Twitter for stuff. And Scotty, you're up.
Let me bring on Mari again.
If you like this show or any of the other shows on my Twitch channel or YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, please follow, subscribe, whatever those buttons are that they have now. They seem to add a new one every once in a while. But yeah. And if you're feeling generous, I do have a Patreon, but everybody has Patreon, so I don't know.
I don't.
I can't promise the nice stuff that Lluis has, but I'll have some behind the scenes stuff for things I'll be releasing on the DMs Guild. A lot of aquatic themed stuff. And I guess that's everything for me.
Yeah. I think that's everybody. Yeah. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
I love you all.
Bye.
Bye.